Hello. Hi. So yes, thanks so much for being here, and I'm very excited to share our little story. So, I'm Bertie. Bertie talaga. And what I want to share with you in the next 30 minutes, what is it that we do, and what does it mean to be a design researcher? Since I think it's not something that's very quite common here right now. So, I want to share a story. So this is called the Play Pump. The Play Pump was an idea that was created by this group and for somewhere in South Africa. And the problem that they saw was that there was not enough water. So they thought, parang maybe we can innovate on this one, maybe we can create something new, something different. And the idea is, what if we create a merry-go-round so the kids can play with it? And as the kids play with this merry-go-round, it will pump water to that water tap at the back. And not only that, so the community can have water, but we can also put branding there so we can earn money for the community. So nice idea, with lots of money, millions and millions of was poured into it, lots of awards, and happy kids. Question, how long will a kid play in a merry-go-round? Before they get bored, before they get tired? Probably a few minutes. So what happens is that if the media is there, if the cameras are there, the photographers are there, happy kids. Once they all leave, actually the moms will go and turn that wheel because what's in a pozo? This is how you will get water. So all the moms will just have to go round and round, non-stop, to provide water for the village. And that's what that's the problem here is like the idea is novel, the idea is new. The idea is innovative, it's never been done. But just because an idea is new, innovative, never been done, or unique or fun, doesn't mean it will work. Whenever you come up with an idea, a product, a service, an experience, it's almost always trying to replace something else. In this case, it's trying to replace how they normally get water. Even bigger problem, they can't repair this. If this breaks down, they have to order the parts from China. So even the local artisans, the local engineers, no one could fix this thing. So whenever you create something, you have to get to know what is the local context that you'll be implementing the idea in. How do people use it? How will it fit into the current ecosystem? What behavior, what system is it trying to replace, and will it fit into it? So that's what we do in Curiosity. As a design research agency, what we do is try to help companies, can be multinationals, corporations, local corporations, government, or even single entrepreneurs. If they have an idea, we come in to provide them the local insight. How will it work? Some of our guys might say, oh, I have this idea in the US, I want to bring it here. I have something in China, I want to bring it here. Or I have something in Metro Manila, I want to bring it to Davao, I want to bring it to Iloilo, etc. But will it work there? How will people receive it? Does it fit into how they actually want to experience your product or service? So design research is basically the practice of understanding the users, the people who will use it, regardless if it's a customer, the service provider, how will they use it, what do they really want to achieve, what's their experience, good and bad, and again, design the service, design the product around it. So I always say that it's my greatest privilege that I'm actually paid to learn. So all my clients will go, whenever they approach Curiosity, they will say, I want you to learn more about sari-sari stores. Learn about them so that we can create a better inventory system for them. Let's learn so we can create microfinance better. We've had, from sari-sari stores, we've gone to art auctions. So we've had a client called Art Providence who told us that we want to help prevent art forgery. So we have a software idea in Israel, in Australia. We want to bring it here, will it work? So we had to attend art auctions, see like a 10 million peso artwork get sold. From there, then we go to the mountains like Atok. So we get to learn about coffee making, to fisher folk in Bilawanan, Rizal, to Tacloban, so after Yolanda happened, to learn about how when people lost their homes, and to also study about the new homes that they were making, what are the materials and social networks that people use. When we say that, and whenever we look at this, we're always trying to find out ano ba yung diskarte ng mga tao. Whenever people face problems and challenges, especially these Filipinas, you always ask parang sige, paano natin didiskartehan to? How do we solve this problem? And you will be surprised at how creative people might be. Especially in the informal sector, whenever people are denied access to something, they can't afford it, it's not there, it's too expensive, they're not allowed to use it, they will find solutions, they will find ways. And whenever people find ways, it's not the best, but it's better than none. And that's what we're always trying to find out. What are these self-made solutions that people go about? Because if we can learn from them, then it's something that they're very open to. It's probably working for them. Then maybe we can make it a formal service, do something that's better, more reliable, more accessible, cheaper. So one little funny story, example, we had one detergent client who told us na, alam mo, sa mga sabon, sa mga detergent, ano lang yun, laban ng presyo, bula, puti, endorser, packaging. Yan lang naman eh. So, commodity na talaga sobra. So sabi niya parang, is there any way that we can provide real value, something new, something that's beyond just the gimmicky promos? So we go to Dinawanan, we spent 1 week there just simply being with the community every morning, just lakad lang, talk to the nanays, habang lalaba. We went to the fisher folk just to see kung ano yung mga grasa, yung mga dirt and states that they encounter, and try to find out, is there anything at all that the current detergents and bleaches are not solving? One morning, so it's around 7 a.m., we saw this pair of nanays na naglalabas sa may poso. And we asked them, why are you washing your clothes out here? You have running water in your home. So why do you here out in the sun? And they told us, pwede naman sa bahay, pwede sa loob. Pero malungkot, sa sarili lang ako, parang naglalaba, parang tumutuloy yung dila ko. Pero dito sa labas, at least kasama kayo mga kaibigan ko, 6 o'clock, simula na kami. Pagka 8 o'clock, tapos na, at least parang kwentuhan. So sa loob, madali. Pero dito sa labas, masaya. And those were really interesting things na parang for us to report back to our client na these are spaces where even though it's not easy, but this is where they want to. This is where they want to be, and you can brand the space. Look up, they're just grabbing a piece of stone. There's no shape. You can brand the whole thing and make it a great experience for them. So I guess just want to share some stories that we done. Like for example, let's say after Yolanda happened, and how design research can help reshape what is actually most important to the people that you're serving. Our client initially thought of asking us to create disaster resilient shelters. What would be these types of shelters that people will want to live in, very affordable, and you don't need foreign expertise to create, like locally they can build them. So working with a local architect, we made some prototypes para expandable homes, octagonal homes, like hexagonal homes, and row houses. So we brought these prototypes to Tacloban, consulted with the communities, talking to the men, talking to the women, talking to everyone around. One common thing though that people kept asking us is, how many houses are you giving? So we asked, based on the budget of our client, we're saying that, sample for now. So sample lang. And everyone gave the exact same response. If you're just giving 10, don't bother. Because if you give me a house, let's say, if you give me a house, everyone will hate me. I need their help for money, I need their help to take care of my kids, I need that for a job, I need that for food. We're all affected, and if you're just giving 10 homes, wag na lang. So we reported back to our client, telling them, perhaps we're on the wrong direction. Perhaps we should not be making disaster resilient homes, building this 10 units of housing. Maybe we can create something more for the common good. So again, consultation with the community, trying to find out what would be this common good, and the answer was basically, can we create an evacuation center instead? So from this, again, working with the architect, we had to redraw the plans again in consultation. What would be a good evacuation center? And people were telling us their stories about how they escaped to the schools, to the basketball courts, to the church, etc. And what were the challenges, like hygiene, dalawa yung banyo, there's no privacy. If people are going to sleep, how do you make sure that there's no violence against women and children? How do you make sure there's enough wash areas? So after a year and a half or so, then this is a blessing, and they got open na rin siya. And immediately after, like a few months later, then Typhoon Ruby happened. So 70 families managed to evacuate here. That is yay. So something closer to home. We had one client who asked us, what would be a better health clinic? So they told us that based on our market research, a lot of people would say that health is very important to them. However, again, through market research, people are not spending on medicine, people are not going to their doctors. Tinitiis nila kung may sakit sila. Hanggang lumala, sobrang nasayang na kung if they went earlier, then nabatan sana. So off we go to places like sa Silang, sa Muntinlupa, etc. And like this is one of those more touching stories. So We saw this nanay going to a barangay health center. Talagang hirap-hirap siya maglakad, so transport brings her in. Someone helps her go to the center. And once she goes in, then sasabihin sa kanya na, ay, sorry, wala si Dr. Dave. So she has to limp back to the tricycle and then go back home and endure whatever current sickness that she's currently enduring. People were telling us that even though sa barangay health center libre, they have to line up at around 4 or 5 a.m. just to get a number. And then at 10 a.m., it'll be their turn to see the doctor, who will probably consult them for like maybe 10 minutes. And then they'll tell them that you need a blood test and all these other tests that you have to do, and then come back and see me on Wednesday. So libre na yung service, but it's such a horrible experience for them. 3 days silang may sakit, araw-araw, kailangan 4 a.m. ka bumila or 5 a.m. just to get their number. So again, if the goal is what would be a better clinic, better than a free barangay health center, but not as expensive as a hospital, what would be this new concept? So we first asked, we go to the communities doing focus groups, immersions, interviews. Like one activity we asked is like, ito, lahat ng mga possible na sakit, ano yung mga, which ones do you experience here, and tell us your stories about them. So they were marking which were the most common ones. And then we printed out maps of the community asking them, can you mark, okay, ito mga sakit ito, sa akin kapagamot. Ito mga sakit ito, sa akin kapagamot. So they would tell us the reasons why this one needs an ER, this one needs a pedia, this one needs parvulario or hilo, etc. And then we would show them lots of photos. So we were showing them, at least for the design, what kind of clinic are you expecting? What is a good clinic? What is good enough? So we don't want it to be too expensive. So just showing them lots of photos and just getting their stories and reasons about it. For example, we had one of these very high-end looking clinics, and they told us, ayoko dyan, parang mukha siyang opisina, mukha siyang high-end opisina. Ito nasuot ko, nakachineras na ako, yan, pumasok dyan. So those little things help. Because if our client invested in something like glass and chrome, hindi sila papasok doon, they'll be very intimidated. So after I think 8 months of work, then finally it's open. It's called Family Doc by Ayala Health. I think we have 6 open branches right now with 18 more to go within this year. So it's really good. But one key findings that we learned from this one is that initially, Family Doc thought that if we can make medicine really affordable, then everyone, all the adults would go. But based on the stories that they were telling us, is that they have an emergency budget. Again, they don't have a lot of money, so they have an emergency budget. If the adult gets sick, I'm strong enough, I know this, I've had this before, so titisip ko, and I will not use the emergency budget. I will do whatever I can to self-medicate. But if it's the kids, or if it's a senior citizen, emergency budget automatically goes to them because hindi nila kaya, hindi sila malakas, wala silang alam, kailangan silang gamutin. So from there, we're telling our client that do not focus the communication, do not focus the idea of this clinic as a healthcare for the individual. It has to be for the family. It's always the adult taking care of the family unit. So instead of, pag pumunta si tatay, libre si anak. Pag pumunta si anak, libre si tatay. Parang ganyan, parang we have to come with that way. So they came with bundle packages such as for 3,500 pesos, unlimited checkup for the whole family of 5 for 1 year. Parang ganyan. And we were testing those ideas, parang concept A, B, C, and people were telling us that they love it na prepaid konsulta. So kahit na bumula anak ko, dalhin na natin, di ba? Hindi ko na kailangan pag-isipan na parang, sige, isin natin, baka bumalik bukas. No, if the baby is coughing, it's a first-time mother who has never experienced this before, dalhin na natin. It's such a peace of mind for them. So I guess very quickly last time. So we've also done some digital apps. We've had one client who said, like, I want to create an app. It's going to be a dentist appointment app. We're going to make it an Uber for dentists. The moment yeah, so the idea is like, let's say you have a toothache right now, you open the app, you click it, and all the local clinics will fight for your business. Unahan sila to click saying that, yes, I will service you at this time. But is that really how people select a dentist? We don't know na if you have a favorite family dentist, your personal dentist, you cannot tend to stick with that. So our goal was to first validate the idea, and we also had to figure out, if you're going to make this up, how often will a person change dentists in their lifetime? So who would be the target market who would open this app on a regular basis such that it's worth maintaining? So we had to figure out the life cycle of a person. And also how can this booking scheduling app be better than simply texting or calling the secretary? But it has to replace it. It has to replace that. So in what way can it be better? So testing the layout, designs, and eventually it's actually up right now. So it's called Dentist Bed, available in iOS and App Store. So ito na rin siya. Okay. So I don't have much time, but so it's been 5 years. We recently hit 5 years no April. Yay, 5 years. So initially when we first opened Curiosity, we were offering our service for free because we had no idea what people pay for design research. People knew market research, where you do surveys, you get like how many people choose A over B over C. But with regards to design research, how do people interact with things? How do people use things? Will people pay for it? So yeah, we were offering for free muna just to test the market to learn. But it's been 5 years. We've done a lot from government work, offline services, and now even online service. And we thought like, after 5 years, we thought that we've evolved so much that we do so much more than before our time. So we thought like we needed to refresh our identity. Right? Now we've grown up. So with the help of Dan Matutina, the amazing Dan Matutina, we updated our brand. So our original Curious Mouse, so we said we wanted the most curious creature, designed by my wife over here. Yeah. Yeah. So we designed that. This is now the reveal of our new brand identity. Yay! Keep down your mouse hole. So we're still growing, we're still expanding, we're learning a lot of new things, we're developing our practice from doing our research on urban planning, again to a lot of UX projects and a lot of community work. So yeah, so again, for us, it's all about learning, it's all about discovery, and as we always say, it's only the curious that has something to discover. Thank you.
I'm from Plastic City Design Company and also from the recently created Hydra Design Group. Hydra is just a group I formed with other designer friends, so Insert, Acid House, and KM. Just mostly extending our graphic design practice to do other things, I guess, in a bigger scale. But still the same. And I guess the process is the same. We're doing newer projects. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator, but I do a lot of things. Very much multidisciplinary. But today I'll be talking more about, I guess, design and brand identity design processes more than my illustration work. So just a background of the stuff that we've done before. I really like what Curiosity and Birdie is doing. That's why we work with them on their branding. We also do a lot of, like, maybe not as extensive, but that's what Birdie and Curiosity is doing. But we work with Japan Foundation and schools and cities to create disaster preparedness games before, and the actual implementation, research, and talking to the stakeholders. We recently did the brand identity design on Summit. We created a new logo and created like a design language for the company to implement and use. I've also done work before with Airbnb when they rebranded before. I did some of like the icons and illustrations. In the studio who did the branding was Design Studio. Yun yung pangalan nila. That was sobrang galing sila. When Google launched Material Design Language, I worked with them for some illustration projects. Created like the look and landing pages just to complement the design language. I didn't really do much of the branding, but I learned a lot from the whole process for illustration. And I did some of the recent doodles for like Independence Day, but I'm doing like illustration and images for Google from time to time. For those not familiar with, I guess I'm sure there are other designers here, graphic designers. Just a few, I guess, like terms. You're familiar with the terms I'll use later on. Essentially, it can be broken down into like these three aspects, like the brand identity, and the logo. So the brand is the perceived image of the whole corporation or brand. So hindi lang siya about the logo or the colors, but what people feel when they see the brand or what they think about when they see the brand. Identity is the visual aspect of it, meaning the colors, the typeface, the font, and the images that's used. And I guess most people are familiar with logos, which is what we usually associate the brand to be. But it's like the icon or the mark or the word mark of the brand. So I did to use a very gas example kasi sobrang convenient ng Starbucks. Andiyan ang Starbucks, color, kape-kape, may Starbucks sa baba. Okay naman ang kape nila, pero identity is the font that they use, the packaging, and the logo is the Starbucks logo. Most of the time when client approaches you, they always ask a designer to create an iconic logo, which is so, I guess, a laki ng pressure. I think no designer can come in and say, yes, I'll make an iconic logo, because it's really not possible when you're starting working on an identity or logo. But we're always up to the challenge, but of course it adds pressure to the designers, but it's okay. The logo can only be iconic when it's used thoroughly and when you spend a lot of marketing budget promoting the logo to everyone. That's why when there's a rebrand, you always see that people are mad that they changed the logo. So may ganun marami. When we did the rebrand for UP, daming nagkagulo from the UP. Pero okay lang, basta you just push on and not become too onion skin. Eventually it will become successful. So, you know, on logos, there's a really nice video. I hope you can hear this, but I think it's best if see Michael Bailey explain everything.
This is Michael Bailey.
I'm Michael Baruch. I'm a graphic designer.
Designers I look up to explain the logo, so I don't have to do it. I'll just share some of like the brand stories and brand work that we've done before, just so you can see the whole process that goes into it. For the studio, this is how we usually work. We do a lot of like listening and research, talking to clients and doing surveys or just talking to all the stakeholders, doing the ideas like sketching and brainstorming internally, designing it on the computer and doing the production like the print, the paper, and the iteration part wherein you change things and improve them if they're not working. The first sample I'm going to give is a project we did quite a long time ago called Back Alley Barbershop. They wanted to, it was a time wherein there was a resurgence of like the cool barbershop for guys, almost the same as like salon for girls. They're also quite a bit more expensive compared to the old school type of barbershop. For this one, they really like this line from Mohawk Matt and Folk Barbers. Old school but never old fashioned, so that was sort of our inspiration when we designed it. So we created a monogram for it wherein it's just a pair of scissors, but it's Back Alley DNA monogram. And we started using it everywhere inside the shop. And this is how the shop looks. So it's a mix of old things and new things together, and modern furniture, but a lot of repurposed old stuff inside the barber shop as well. We designed everything from the menu to the signage up, outdoors to the posters and business cards, and we also created our own menu because gusto lang namin. We were thinking we need to have a really nice menu that's easy to use. So what we did was we pasted GI sheet and wood together, so you can just use magnet to hold onto the pages and they can easily change it. So all of these are sort of like reflecting what the barbershop is all about. A lot of attention to details and a lot of like very witty small things and objects that gives different experience to the shop itself. Another thing we did was instead of making GCs like gift certificates, we designed a different object for them. We created a gift coin, so they printed it in a thick board paper. So when you go to the shop and redeem the GC, you can pop out the coin and redeem it. And the client retains the board, so you have the details of the shop, but the shop keeps the coin and put it on like, they have a jar inside the shop, so they have sort of like a jar of coins. So at least you can keep track of the gift coins or gift checks that have been redeemed, and it still keeps it within like the brand identity of the shop. The next one is Kushikatsu Daruma. Recently, it opened I think 2 months ago. So this was a established brand in Osaka, and they wanted to bring it here in Manila. So it's a fried steaks brand, and it was also a challenge of extending the brand outside of its origin. So Kushikatsu Daruma, this is how the shop looks in Japan. So it looks very traditional and a bit boring. It's fried steaks And kami yan, naloko kami ng post. Anyways, so that's the owner and founder. So you have to go there, talk to them how the process will go, how to apply here, etc. Medyo tuwan-tuwa siya sa face niya, so everywhere you can see his face. I'm so sick. No, I just it's good looking. So anyway, so ito yung brand identity, parang, oh my god. Okay lang, so we have to use his face and use this logo. I really didn't like this logo, but we had no choice. But what we did at first was try to move around all the limitations and told them, we're going to recreate your logo into nicer typeface that we created ourselves. So what we were pushing for it, and then everyone said no. So what we did was just change the colors a bit, make it a bit more modern, casual, young, but still reflecting like the Osaka humor later on. So we have no choice, but yeah, we have to use it. But we change the colors a bit. Sorry, patay naman yung story. We created our own typeface called the Rumasans that we used all throughout the whole project. All the different, well, it's not a really full typeface because, I hate the way just painted some, and this is how the shot looks. So if you look at the earlier design, we worked with KM, they're also part of Vega. The interiors, the direction was to go a bit more street, so parang kind of like Osaka street, but a bit more approachable. So may newspapers, may lanterns. The only legit Japanese thing here are the lanterns. The others we created it ourselves inside the shop. So this is how the interior of the shop looks. It's very open. You can see everything inside, and it's very nice. We created our own Daruma dolls. Instead of buying normal Daruma dolls, we created our own, and we placed our faces inside it. Our friends from Cebu did Happy Garay painted this for us based on the design that we did. So we worked with different designers as well. This is how the interiors of some of the light boxes look. The wayfinding, we made it like sticks kasi fried stick shop siya. So a bit on like the extension of the brand. This is how the uniform, wala namang kabago sa yun. Okay, so it's not normal uniform, but for the name tags, we created it with the face of the Daruma doll. And so we created guides inside the shop because the tagline of Kushikatsu Daruma is no double dipping. And it's a challenge here because we're used to dipping twice on the sauce when you eat fish balls. So it bawal dun sa shop. But we tried to, even people now think the shop is called no double dipping because no double dipping. I'm sorry, but yes. So we created like posters inside the shop, like the PSAs, just to show people that this is what happens to you when you double dip. Parang sila, Manny Pacquiao looking, Daruma, and all the different like punishments that can happen to you. So inside the shop there are video walls, video screens where we show different animation of like people double dipping and what happens to them. So I guess it's just to create like the mood, and it's not too serious. Inside the shop. So it's just things that inside the shop that are looping around to sort of reinforce the brand, what it is, and the humor that it has. So marami, skip ko na yung ibang video. Pero, ano ba itong pangapat? Ito pa. We made like 12 different videos, and this one is what we're developing now. It's like the menu because at first we wanted to create a simple menu, and yun parang people don't know what Kushikatsu is. So when they go inside the shop, nag-invent na steak, so now we're trying to design a menu. It's not that top, the menu. So we're developing it. The idea is still to extend the brand and the quirkiness and the pagkakulit ng brand. The idea we had was all throughout the menu, the guy is chasing the other guy who double dipped. So we're navigating around the whole menu with the sticks like the trees, and so he's hiding from the guy. I don't know if people will love using this menu because for me, it's quite hard to read, but sometimes you don't care. You find out later. So, basahin mo. Yeah, you need to alam art. But anyways, but they're just moving around the whole menu. And just to extend the brand, the photographs are nice naman. So, yun. So, for this one, it's a bit more quirky compared to the Back Alley, which was cool and serious. But just so you can see the different types of processes that we use when we work on projects, we're not too serious. The last example is Curiosity. We worked with Birdie and the whole Curiosity team to do their brand identity design. So I'll just show you the process how we came up with the final identity. So this is their old logo. At first, when they approached us, when we talked initially, they wanted to veer away from the old logo. So we created two different directions. This was the first one wherein the eye fell down and became the blank that you can put anything. Sort of like make people curious what it is. So this is how it looks, very like narrow pipe and a little cool looking of that. And we also created another one that's a bit more into like very bookish kind of literature, iconography. The idea here was sort of the five senses, because when you're curious, when you want to find something, an answer to something or find out about it, you use all the senses. My experience will happen. Anyway, so what happened was, sabi ni Birdie, so we had to do it again. Okay, so we failed. And sabi ni Birdie, gusto ko talaga yung daga. Okay, sige, ayaw namin yung daga, pero gusto mo. So, nothing's happening. So, I made different versions of the mouse, different decoration. But this is nice. It's a nice process, a lot of back and forth. So eventually we ended up with this. Sisig namin, patay na natin yung daga. The mouse. But now it's just a mouse hole, so at least you don't know if the mouse is inside or outside. Where is it? Is it outside? Is it inside? See, na-curious ka rin. Yeah, so we made it into like a period at the end, like it's a mouse hole. So we try to, so for how it's applied, we sometimes use like a platform and then it's resting there, just so it works in different applications and different colors. So we retain the yellow colors. So the business card works that way, like Marlito and the text. So we also extended like in terms of the look, like created illustrations that will kind of give it a human touch. Because if you notice in Birdie's presentation, we used a lot of hand-drawn illustration, which I really like. And the logo looks very clean, so we have to kind of give balance to it. So this is how the future like presentation will go. A lot of colors, and we created new illustrations as well. And new faces, see? And we illustrated them para i-approve na nila. So there's no illustration, they look nice, they look like they're ready for the world. So that's it, I guess that's the end. I'll just leave with this thought, because everyone thinks that if you design a logo or identity, it becomes popular right away. But sabi ni Michael Eisner, a brand is a living entity, and this image or undermined cumulatively over time, the product of thousands more gestures. Thank you very much.